I am excited, Chase Forth. How about you, sir?
So this is part 1 of the WEF video blog. There's going to be multiple parts, don't worry about it. We're probably going to have, I'll tell you this much, we don't know what the hell's going to be filmed.
Who's to say, really? It could be, I mean, like, we don't even know what's going to happen. Eventually, there could be a panda bear or an exploding car. Who knows?
So, what we're going to be talking about today is kind of giving you a preview of what we're going to be seeing. If you are in the Orlando area, once again, I want to reiterate, there will be an annotation that goes right in here. WorldExtremeFightingUSA.com. If you want to get your tickets, make sure you check it out. It's going to be coming up on July 10th, this Saturday.
Yes, this is a lot like when you watch the Countdown show and Joe Rogan says shit like, I'm really excited for this because you'd sacrifice virgins to Brock Lesnar. That's what this is, but a really shitty version of it.
He's right. He's actually spot on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So, we got a piece of paper.
We do.
We printed this out. This is the card that we're going to be running down. I'm going to run down the first fight that's on the main card. Got a bit of a breezy breeze going on.
I'm not going to lie. It feels really good. Not really conducive for videography.
Exactly. So, the first fight is Justin Moore versus Mike Lee. Those of you who are not familiar with Mike Lee, trains out of the jungle.
He's like a local legend, sort of.
Exactly. Very, very good on the ground. Very, very good grappler. I think he's one of the lead instructors there as well.
He is. He's pretty much the head instructor for just about everything that's not, specialty classes with Tom Lawler or Seth Petroselli. I think Seth obviously leads more the kickboxing side, and Tom is a little more wrestling. I think Mike Lee kind of does both. He's really like the unofficial head of the jungle, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So this is actually an interesting fight. Mike Lee was supposed to, and this is how this card broke down. It's been going back and forth. The promoter that actually runs this, they had about 15 fights at first. It looks like a lot of them got bumped down. One of the guys that was supposed to fight on this card, we just saw fight at the UFC 116 card, which was Seth Petroselli. He was called up last minute, which actually caused a lot of additions and deletions.
There's
on
a
the
lot
card.
of stuff happening. I'm not going to lie, really bummed out about that. I'm sure Seth wishes he had probably taken the spot on this card first, but hey, that was his decision.
It was a UFC opportunity, and
yeah,
he couldn't pass that on, so that's understandable. But, so this is an interesting fight. Mike Lee has definitely, I think, got the advantage over Justin in some areas, especially when it comes to the ground. From what I've heard about Justin, and I've looked up some stuff about him, well-rounded guy, pretty good on the ground, pretty good on his feet. But I think, ultimately, I think this is a fight that is, I don't want to say it's tailor-made for Mike Lee,
right?
But he's going to have a significant advantage.
You're going to find that a lot of the more named guys are kind of supposed to get a win at cards like this. May not be the case. You still got to go out there and compete and, put on your big boy pants. But, obviously, Mike Lee is going to be the favorite heading into this bout.
Exactly. Alright, so we have the next fight, which is going to be a catchweight bout at 195.
Impressive. That's Rich Franklin weight.
I'll let you cover this one.
We got David Baggett from the jungle, and then C.T. Turner, right?
Yes.
Highlander MMA Tampa. And from what we found out, C.T. Turner is the one that did confront or have a confrontation with Jamie Yeager inside a cage, correct? And it was a win for him via disqualification. I do believe I remember reading about this. We were just talking about this not too long ago. I think it was like a kick to a down opponent. Yeah, something in the Yushin Okami area, I think, mayhaps. So, C.T. Turner is actually a really, really good fighter. He's well-rounded. I'm going to have to say in this one, he probably is going to take it. That's where I'm looking at in this fight, so that's my pick. Like I said, it's hard. A lot of these are, very up-and-coming individuals. Being from the Orlando area, I'm obviously going to side with people from, the jungle or ATT Orlando. I'm going to have to take Mr. Baggett, based on the fact that he is, I'm assuming, localized being from the jungle. So Chase and I will find out who is better at Rich Franklin weight between David Baggett and C.T. Turner. Alright, 185. This is a guy I'm actually looking forward a lot. I've been telling Casey about this guy. He has his own website through the jungle. Ooh. Is it like a MySpace? Similar to that. He's got his own page set up. But he's definitely a guy that, if you look at his highlights, go look him up. It's Mark Serkez. It's M-A-R-K. S-E-R-K-E-Z. Definitely a guy to look out for. He's an up-and-comer, 8-3. Very, very impressive. He's well-rounded, very good on the ground, good standing up, pretty good wrestling from what I've seen. He's definitely a well-rounded fighter and a guy to look out for. I think not only in this promotion, but possibly making a run at some different promotions. At a more elite level. Chase did describe him as an MFing beast when he told me. I think that may have been his exact words. He's definitely a guy to look out for. He's taking on Mitch Weitzel, who is... He's been off and on throughout his career. I do believe he's got more losses than wins, if I remember when I looked at his record. I could be wrong on that. But I think that this is a fight that I think Serkez is going to win.
I've just seen way too much footage on this guy from various different promotions, and I have to say I'm very, very impressed with him. This is the fight I'm looking forward to the most. I at first thought that the main event was the fight that I really wanted to see, but I really want to see this guy fight. I've heard a lot of good things about him. I think this is definitely a guy that if you're looking at, as like the MMA Originalist does, he does those prospect videos.
Yes.
This is definitely a guy to look out for. I think he's definitely somebody that will be somebody we talk about in the future, whether it be like a Bellator show, maybe in the UFC at some point. Definitely a guy to look out for.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure on these guys to perform because we're in the audience, and between our own, viewer base, a win for Mark Cirquez could really propel him to YouTube fame.
Exactly.
I mean, hey, if you do well, I'm gonna blow you up in my video because I love to name drop people. So.
Exactly. Now, there's another fight that's on here. It's to be announced. We're not going to cover that one, but we are going to cover the main event.
Yeah.
This one is going to be, I'm not as excited for it as I was because I thought that the matchup was a little bit better. Mike Lee was supposed to be in this. I'm sure Casey can describe it a little bit better of what the two styles would have been, but I'll let you cover the fight.
We've got Dean Thomas, obviously, a legend and a veteran in American Top Team. And then we're going against Harris Norwood. And from what I've heard, he's more of a striker, that's correct?
Muay Thai guy.
Muay Thai. And I think, when I think of Dean Thomas, he's very well-rounded. He's like an OG, original gangster, if you're not really up on hip, terminology. He can really do it all. Obviously, if you remember, he was training to fight Mayorga out of Shine Fights, correct?
Right, exactly.
That fell through. So when Chase and I saw he was going to be appearing locally, well, shiver me timbers, this is exciting. So, obviously Harris Norwood is going to want to keep it standing. Maybe Dean Thomas will want to do the same. But, obviously, if you're a George St. Pierre kind of fighter, you're going to want to exploit the weaknesses and stuff. So, who's really to say? But with Dean Thomas, you're going to get excitement.
Exactly. He was supposed to fight Mike Lee, and what would have been interesting about that fight is Dean Thomas, primarily is a very, very good boxer. He likes to mix his strikes together. But the element, what was really interesting about that fight was the fact that Mike Lee is so dangerous on the ground.
Yeah.
And that would have made a very compelling fight to see how the two styles conflicted. But I think what they were looking for in this main event is they want two guys to stand and exchange. Harris Norwood has been a dangerous Muay Thai striker throughout his career. His record doesn't reflect it. Unfortunately, he's got into some pretty crazy slugfest with some different.
Certain times he may not or should have, or made some decisions
took a couple shots to the chin that definitely affected some situations. But this is a fight that it could go really, honestly, and I'm dead serious when I say this, it could go either way. He is a very, very good striker, and Dean Thomas is a very, very good boxer. You never know when you have those two styles come together. You got two guys that are going to try to exchange. We don't know. Is it going to be a slugfest? Is it going to be a technical fight? Who's going to impose their will? If it was me, Casey's going to say the same thing. I'm taking Dean Thomas. If it was my corner and I was cornering Dean Thomas, I would take Norwood down.
Yeah.
I would look for a sub.
I'm looking Dean Thomas armbar probably round 1. That's what I'm thinking. But all we know for sure is it's going to be an exciting fight, and we're going to be excited to be there to witness it live. This will be my first time seeing, cage fighting, live and in person. I'm pumped. I can't believe it. I want to go right now. Unfortunately, we've got a while.
Yeah, we got a couple days.
Yeah.
This will be my second. I told you about the last one about a year and a half. I was supposed to go to the UFC Fight Night card with Joe Lozon, which was a while back when it was in Tampa at the Seminole Hard Rock, and that just fell through. Didn't happen because of a work week.
Honestly, I probably would not have been so upset about that, just going to be honest.
Yeah, but this is definitely a card to look out for. We're going to have a lot more footage. We're going to be probably filming, not only me personally, I'll be filming days leading up, talking about some things. Casey said that he may actually do a couple videos as well on his end leading up. And then as we go to the event, somebody will be filming with a camcorder. We will try to get footage of what's going down. We will try to get some interviews because we've heard some inside info that we might see Petrozelli possibly.
We're hoping, I heard some stuff that Tom Lawler may not be in attendance as he's going to be going to a wedding in the Keys.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of different stuff. It's all timetable things. We're just going to have to see. But whatever's there, we're going to get the best of it.
Right. And we apologize ahead of time. I said this ahead of schedule of this happening, that when you get into events and you get into the places where the card's actually being held, a lot of times there's a lot of restrictions about what you can and cannot do. So based on what that is, will be based on what we can actually get. So we'll do the best that we can. So video blog number 1. Stay tuned. We'll have more to come.